We're seeing a lot of heavy rain in these spots. Any of these areas that you're seeing, those purple indicated areas, likely seeing some large hail in those spots as well. So those are going to be our biggest threats for now as far as these storms go. So remember, we do just now have this issued within the last couple of minutes here. Parts of El Paso County.
The National Weather Service in Pueblo has issued a tornado warning for south central El Paso County in east central Colorado until 2 p.m. At 1:20 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles south of Fountain, or 19 miles south of Colorado Springs, moving east at 30 miles an hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include Hanover. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris.
Into what is Wigwam County. This will be in place until 2 o'clock. So this is what we've got our eye on, and we're continuing to watch here. Remember, if you are a part of this, or really of any of these warnings that we're seeing right now, including some severe thunderstorm warnings, make sure you're getting to the most interior room of your house. Stay away from any windows. We're hearing a lot of thunder here in downtown Colorado Springs right now as well. So we're gonna keep our eye especially on this one right here. So clicking around here, like I said, giving you a better look at what's happening, this red highlighted area. And we're gonna let this move a little bit again. I'm gonna get this back in here. So you're seeing that storm moving kind of from the Fountain area, crossing over that I-25 corridor. Anywhere, like I said, that you're seeing this purple color is where we're likely seeing some pretty decent hail. We've got some very heavy rain here. We're seeing some radar indicated rotation. If you're seeing anything out where you are, if you are in this area, send us any reports of what you might be seeing. But to keep yourself safe, make sure, like I keep saying, you are in an interior room in your house, far away from those windows, as far down to the ground as you can get here. So this is, once again, I'm gonna put up our tool here, making sure I click on the right thing. All right, that's our precipitation right here. Sorry, I'm gonna do a little more clicking around to get this to pop back up here for us. I'll click around in here too so you can kind of see. There we go. So once again, we have that tornado warning for parts of El Paso County. I'm gonna step back into our frame here in just a second. So you'll continue to see, looks like we might have something new here. Give me just 1 second. Gonna keep clicking around, but keeping you updated here. So this is going to continue. Sounds like we're seeing some possible quarter-sized hail in this, but we've got our eye once again. This red highlighted box, that's gonna be south of Fountain. That's for El Paso County. Radar indicated rotation here, but you'll notice it is getting a little bit of a spin there. So that's why we do have a tornado warning in place in this spot. Remember, if you're in any of these areas, you're gonna wanna go to the interior room of your house as far down as you can get, lowest level, no windows, things like that. Heavy rain is looking possible, maybe some flash flooding. We've seen a lot of flood or flash flood warnings today, so that'll be another threat with any of these storms storms that develop. We continue in these green shaded areas. That's where we've seen a lot of flooding today. We're getting rid of a little bit of that lightning, but that is still going to be a threat as well. I'm going to go walk back over to my computer and zoom in, see if we can get a little bit closer to maybe some street views as to what is happening in this area. But you can see along I-25, just south of Fountain, we are seeing a lot of rain, probably getting some hail in this area too, as well as that lightning. So we're going to zoom in. This storm looks to be pretty strong right here, close to that Squirrel Creek Road area. So that's what we're looking at here, Ohio Avenue. So you'll notice that is just east there of Fountain. In this storm, it's continuing to push to its northeast. So this red highlighted area that I keep talking about here is going to be that tornado warned storm. I am going to zoom out and give you a look at some of the other storms in the area. So right now, this yellow highlighted area. This is the storm, a severe thunderstorm warning. It's approaching Pueblo West. We've probably got some decent sized hail in that. You're noticing some lightning as well. So those will be two things to keep in mind for that. You can notice that is getting a little bit closer to Pueblo. This storm started to weaken a little bit earlier. It's looking like we're getting maybe a little bit stronger. Some of that hail making its way back into that. So inching into Pueblo West along Highway 50. That's another strong storm that we've got our eye on. But the bulk of this is kind of hanging out around the I-25 corridor, anywhere from Security Wide Field all the way down just to the south of Fountain. So these are all of the areas that you're going to want to find shelter, seek shelter, get inside at this point, looking at some pretty decent hail likely with these, some very heavy rain with these. Any of these green highlighted areas that you're seeing, we're probably experiencing some flash flooding. Those are flash flood warnings. Those have been there for some time today for a lot of areas. Some of these storms are moving pretty slowly, so they are giving you a decent amount of rain with this. We'll zoom into another area, Shriver Air Force Base, just on the outside of this tornado warning here, but you'll notice some of that purple and red highlighted there. So you're likely seeing some of that hail in that area, definitely some heavy rainfall, and you're on the corner of that flash flood warning as well. So that'll be something that you might be dealing with in your area. For any of you folks that are just now tuning in, we're gonna basically start this over here. You are looking at our live Doppler radar. I'm gonna step back into the camera here in just a second. 1 second here. I'm checking in on some stuff that's going on. All right, so we're going to keep this still in place until 2 o'clock. It looks like that's how that's going to stay. I'm going to click in on one more thing here. All right, so South Central El Paso County, that's where we're gonna hold on to this tornado warning, that red highlighted area. Maybe a little bit of rotation here. So like I said, just south of Fountain, about 19 miles south of Colorado Springs. It's moving at about 30 miles per hour, so it's moving pretty fast. We are looking at maybe some tree damage as well, some property damage with the wind in this storm. So coming back over here to kind of point some things out to some folks. If you are just tuning in, we are checking in on a potentially tornado warned storm here. It's going to be along this I-25 corridor south of Fountain. So this red highlighted box is the area that we're seeing that tornado warned storm here. You're noticing a lot of lightning. Anywhere you're seeing that dark purple color, you are likely dealing with some hail. So we are looking at some property damage, maybe some damage to some cars and things like that. That's not just going to be for this storm. That is going to be for a lot of these storms that are even severe warned storms. We are seeing some pretty decent sized hail with those as well. So that tornado warning, radar indicated. So we're keeping an eye on that just south of Fountain. So that's in this, like I said, red highlighted box along the I-25 corridor right there. Another strong storm we've got our eye on. This one made its way all the way from Canyon City. You talked about it to you earlier. Yellow highlighted box here. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning, getting a lot closer to Pueblo and Pueblo West. These warnings are going to stay in place until about 2 o'clock. So we'll keep a close eye on that until that point. So elsewhere, we've got a lot of action finally starting to kind of push to our east. These storms are moving mostly to the east and to our northeast here. So that's what we're seeing. That's the direction we're seeing these take. But right around Fountain, we do have that flash flood warning as well. If you see any of that flash flooding, make sure you're not driving through any of those roads or walking through any of those sidewalks that maybe look flooded. You shouldn't be outside anyways. But at this point, any of this hail that we're seeing, some smaller than others, of course, but do take the proper precautions as these storms head your way. That maybe if it's not there quite yet, you've got a few minutes to get out, maybe do some stuff to make sure your cars are all right. But for now, especially, you'll notice just east of Fountain here that's where we're seeing maybe some pretty decent sized hail. I'm gonna walk back over here and do some more moving of our radar, get a little bit of a closer look at what's happening, maybe on a little bit more local level here. So 1 second, we're gonna keep talking, but I am gonna zoom in a little bit more here. So we're into that tornado warned area once again. You're noticing along I-25 between about Wigwam and Fountain. That's where we've got that warning in place. It's moving at about 30 miles per hour, so it's moving pretty quickly, but we're seeing some more of these starting to pop up with some more heavy rain and some hail in there as well. Remember, continuing to move to the northeast here. So we're zooming in, hoping to get a better look. Squirrel Creek Road, you guys are kind of in the midst of this right now. It's moving out of your area. Remember that Shriver Air Force Base area. If you're there, you're likely already seeing a decent amount of this. But I would also say definitely stay inside. Make sure you're taking all your proper precautions as these storms do continue to push to our northeast here. We do have a decent amount of lightning. Sometimes it's a little easier to see what we're looking at if we turn that lightning off. So I'm going to do that for right now. But just know that that lightning is there. Right now, the pretty much entire I-25 corridor is getting some kind of rain, likely some hail in that area between Fountain and Wigwam, like we were talking about. Pueblo West, you still have that severe thunderstorm warning there. And so all of Highway 50 in that area dealing with some decent rain, probably some decent hail as well. Earlier this storm had some 2-inch hail. So if you're in Pueblo West or you're near Pueblo, those are two areas that are going to be seeing this storm moving in here probably pretty soon. I would say by about 2 o'clock, you might be getting some of this towards Pueblo, but we've also got this other storm here looking like it's coming in here from Beulah Valley, that these two could potentially merge here. So we'll keep a close eye on what those are going to do once that happens. So we're going to move back up to I-25, that I-25 corridor. And we still got a lot of that purple in here. Checking in on a few more things on my computer here. If you are just tuning in, we do have a tornado warned storm for southern El Paso County that's going to be close to Wigwam. So that's where we're watching right now. That's what you have on your screen. I'm going to step back in here at this point and keep you updated on what's happening. So the area with that tornado warned storm. I'm really just repeating information at this point, but I still want folks that maybe are just now getting in here to know what we're dealing with. So what we've got here is probably some pretty good hail. We've got that purple color. That's usually a pretty good indicator that we've got some decent hail out there. We've got this red highlighted box. So from Fountain down to about Wigwam along I-25, that area getting some pretty good hail right now. So make sure you're trying to find some shelter. If you are in this red highlighted box, remember these storms are moving to the northeast and we are seeing those continue to intensify. So I'm going to walk back over here once again. I keep wanting to get a little bit closer of a street view for you folks on this one. So I'm going to continue talking to you like I have been this entire time, keeping you in the loop here, but a little bit closer of a look. So we've got this purple color filling in. A few thousand people impacted by this warning here, so definitely wanted to get it out to everyone. It looks like the most of that hail, we still got some heavy rain along I-25, but that's pushing off to the east there. So that's some good news. We're going to continue to see these pushing out to the northeast, so pushing east and northeast. So we've got our eye on that right now. Gonna keep speaking to you here. We could see some pretty strong wind with this, of course. That's kind of the deal with the tornado. So anything that maybe isn't tied down, just be aware that some flying debris could be an issue. So that'll be something to keep in mind. Make sure if you are in this red highlighted area, so remember, just south and east of Fountain, you need to seek shelter, get to an interior room of your house as far down the lowest level as you can get. No windows if possible, just in case we've got anything that starts flying, and some hail as well could do some damage to things like that. So we've got our eye on this. We've also got some heavy rain in this area. I'm gonna try to keep talking to you guys until this expires. That is at 2 p.m. So we've got a few more minutes here together, but we're gonna continue to talk you through this. Another thing we'll do here in just a second is we're gonna go back to those severe thunderstorm warnings. So remember, red highlighted area, that's going to be that tornado warned storm. It's a lot to look at here. I know it's a lot to look at, but we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of El Paso County. That's the yellow highlighted area. We've got a few of those. And then this one's still getting a lot closer to that Pueblo West area. Walking back in. Gonna give you another look at what's happening here. So we do also have a flash flood warning, what looks like this green area all the way from Canyon City to about Pueblo. So this storm, it is moving, but it is producing a lot of rain and some pretty decent sized hail. So this is a storm that is going to likely produce some flash flooding. Like I said, we're watching this one here that's trying to kind of push into the other one. These two storms looking like they'll likely merge here within the next few minutes. So a close eye on what those are going to do. Keep in mind, I have turned the lightning strikes off, so you're not seeing all the lightning with this, but there is a lot with all of the storms in this area. So Pueblo West, Pueblo's probably just getting some rain right now. Pueblo West, you're about to be in the line of this storm and kind of as it merges together. So this is another one, another severe warned thunderstorm until 2 o'clock. This might be extended. That's something we are obviously watching here. Gonna step back over and do some more dragging around, giving everybody else a look at what's happening in their area. A lot of that action along the I-25 corridor is starting to calm down a touch. So around Colorado Springs, we are still seeing some decent rainfall, but not anything like what we were seeing earlier. Security Wide Field, Fort Carson, that area looking a little better as well. Same story for Fountain, but just to the south and to the south, or the east, I should say, of Fountain, we do still have that tornado warning in place. So we've got, I'm gonna click into some of our stuff here. Like I said, if you are in these areas, we've got some quarter-sized hail likely, maybe even bigger than that at this point. Some very strong wind. Make sure you're moving into a basement, an interior room on your lowest level. I kind of paused this for you so we can see what's happening. Remember that Squirrel Creek Road area, you've kind of gotten the worst of this for now. It's still kind of moving in that direction, so that will be something to keep in mind. You're still not quite in the clear. I'd still stay in maybe that safe space for now. And then you're also noticing South Peyton Highway, probably getting some hail. You're noticing some heavy rain and definitely some strong wind. Stryver Air Force Base, same story for you. Looks like you're getting a little bit weaker in that spot, but you are on the corner of that tornado warned storm. And either way, you're still included in a severe thunderstorm warning. So we do have these showers and storms getting a little closer to that Ellicott area. I'm gonna hit the play button again here. You can see these are starting to swirl up in that area. So that's what we're watching for them. I'm gonna come back over here to that tornado warned storm. That's what we're looking at for now. And I'm gonna do a little more stuff on my other computer here, just making sure I'm giving you the most updated information. We just talked about this. The newest warning that I'm seeing is that one over towards Pueblo West, the flash flood warning. So that's something that is not going anywhere right now. Also, that severe thunderstorm warning for Pueblo and Pueblo West. You're likely looking at some quarter-sized hail in that area. Heavy rain, some wind up to about 60 miles per hour in that spot. It's looking like we maybe have this tornado warning here getting pushed out into a different area. So I'm gonna zoom in here. It's starting to include a little bit of that area off to our east, off to the east of Wigwam there. Thankfully, I-25 is starting to look a little better. You are still dealing with that, with the rain, maybe some small hail in there, but most of that has moved off to the east. You can see any of that purple that you're looking at is likely seeing some pretty good hail. And you notice this line of storms. I'm gonna zoom out now. It's kind of starting to get a little more organization. They're all kind of pushing together, banding together here, and continuing to push off to the east there. So it does look like this tornado warning here. See if I can click on the right thing. Like I said earlier, sometimes this is a little finicky, so it might take me a few clicks to get on the right thing, but I'm aiming for this arrow out here. So that is going to be another tornado warning, all right? That's for El Paso and Pueblo counties until 2:30 p.m. I'm gonna zoom back out. That's the newest one. These other two in that red highlighted area, those are the spots that we have already been seeing that tornado warning. And so we do have a close eye on these spots. These are not things to be playing around with. Make sure that we are getting in our safe spaces. You are past the point of needing to be there. You should be on the lowest level of your house, away from any windows. If you don't have a basement or something like that, you should be on the lowest level of your house. Excuse me, if you don't have a basement, you should be getting into an
The National Weather Service in Pueblo has issued a tornado warning for southeastern El Paso County in east central Colorado, northeastern Pueblo County in southeastern Colorado until 2:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. At 1:52 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Hanover, or 20 miles north of Pueblo, moving east at 35 miles an hour. Hazard, tornado and quarter-size hail. Source, radar-indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include Hanover. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Torrential rainfall is occurring with this storm and may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways.
The storm moving toward Pueblo. Keep in mind, you guys still do have that severe thunderstorm warning in place. Pueblo West, you're starting to get into the middle of that one. And then this other storm, they're all starting to kind of merge. We're getting a little bit of a line of these storms. So that's what we're watching here. And if you're just tuning in, we're gonna really quickly go through what we're watching once again before we take a quick break, and then we'll try to jump back on here and keep you updated as to what's happening. So we started with these two tornado warnings, I should say, from Fountain down the I-25 corridor. We do still have a couple of those there, and the new one that has just been issued is going to be this one that extends from about I-25 just past I-25, but it's going to include those eastern parts of Pueblo and El Paso counties. So these are producing hail, some strong wind, and a lot of rain. You're going to want to get to an interior room of your house, and if you have a basement or anything like that, that's going to be your best spot. These are all starting to kind of form into a line here. So that's what we're looking at. Remember, even if you're not under one of these tornado warnings, we're starting to see a little bit of an improvement for parts of I-25, but you're likely getting some hail just south there of Fountain, so just north of the Pueblo area. So between there, likely some pretty good hail. Remember, please don't stop under underpasses if you're listening to this. Hopefully you are in your house and you're safe, but that's a good reminder there. Don't be driving over flooded roads, anything like that. Colorado Springs looking looking a little better. Fountain starting to get out of that danger zone here. And then we're also continuing to see these storms push a little bit further from our more populated areas. So that's improvement there. But like I said, these red highlighted areas, those are the spots where there's tornado warnings are going to be in place. Pueblo West and Pueblo, we're seeing those storms start to merge here. You're noticing kind of a line of storms all the way from Callahan down past Pueblo. And we are seeing some of that along the I-25 corridor. So any of these green boxes that you're seeing, that's a good idea to break down. So the green boxes going to be areas that we are seeing flooding or we will likely see flooding. So we've got some of those for parts of Colorado Springs. Those storms are starting to push out of our way here. Up towards Callahan, we have that as well. The red, that's that tornado warning as we watch that storm continue to push east, getting a little further out towards the plains. For now, we do still have some heavy rain as a little bit closer to Pueblo along that I-25 corridor. Fountain starting to get out of the brunt of this, and we have several severe thunderstorm warnings in place as well. So I'm going to step off camera. I've been kind of popping in and out just because it's a little bit easier for me to move things around and stay in the loop. But I'm just keeping you guys in the loop as well here to see what's new, what's expired, so that we're all on the same page. So I'm glad that I'm hoping everybody is staying safe here. Some pretty decent hail probably possible. So it's looking like as these storms continue to come together, like I said, these are radar indicated, but we could have some spin ups here. So this area specifically, we'll get in on a little more local level here for you. So the good news here is it's getting a little further away from people like we talked about, but it is still a tornado warning. So like I said, that purple area is going to probably indicate some pretty good hail coming down in that spot. So any kind of flying debris will probably be one of the biggest threats here. Quarter-size hail is what it's estimating right now, and this is continuing to move east. So I've got an eye there on this tornado warning. All right, that red highlighted box, remember we keep talking about that. I'm gonna turn our lightning back on so you can see we are dealing with some lightning with this storm. I haven't had this on in a while, so remember lightning obviously gonna be a threat too. But as this storm kind of lines itself up here, it's pushing to our east. So if you are east of these storms, keep in mind that they are likely headed your way. So north around Colorado Springs to about Fountain, things are getting a little bit better out there for you. We do still have some rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder, but things are looking better there. Remember, flash flooding, a big worry today. We've seen a lot. Those green highlighted boxes that you're seeing, those are flash flood warnings. So a lot of rain there. Remember, Pueblo, you're getting a little bit closer to seeing this storm coming in from the west. It's still only a severe thunderstorm warning, but some strong wind, heavy rain, obviously going to be an impact with that. If you are in this red highlighted box, you should already be in your safe space. So we're gonna walk back out again and give you some more details on this. We've kind of seen this start to push forward, bowing forward here. So this is the area of storms we do have our eye on. A lot of lightning, some hail, some rotation. Radar indicated that we're watching here as these storms continue to push to our east. Now remember that if you are in this red highlighted box, this is going to be parts of El Paso and Pueblo County. This is about 19 miles outside of Pueblo. You're noticing it doesn't include that I-25 corridor, but that I-25 corridor is still getting some pretty decent rain, maybe some hail mixed in there as well. You should be on the most interior room of your house here, or on the bottom floor of your house. Flash flooding, not out of the question with the heavy rain with some of these storms as well. So our red highlighted box is going to be our area of concern right now. You're noticing a lot of lightning. You're probably hearing a lot of thunder. So we're keeping our eye on this as we've had some radar indicated rotation with this storm. So if you're just joining us, this red highlighted area, that's our tornado warning. It's in place until 2:30. So we've got our eye on this area as it continues to push forward, starting to bow out here just a little bit. I'm gonna walk back over this way to get another look at what's happening. Gonna keep talking to you here. So we've got a severe thunderstorm warning until 3 o'clock. Moving over. I'm just going to continue to drag this around here. Zoom in a little more. I'm looking at some of our other things that I have, some of my other radars and things like that. So I'm going to keep talking to you as I look through these, but we do have in that red highlighted area that you're looking at here, that is our tornado warning. That is in place until 2:30. So we've got about 25 minutes left on this. I'm gonna clear out this guy that we had earlier on here. I was tracking that storm around Pueblo. Pueblo West, you're kind of in the thick of that storm right there at the moment. Only a severe warned thunderstorm, but that could still be bringing some hail, heavy rain, things like that to the area. So that'll be what we're tracking here. These storms continuing to push to our east, so getting a little further away from really populated areas, but we are still seeing this in areas that obviously does still have some folks that this could impact. So we're gonna zoom back in here to the east of I-25. I'm doing some clicking around on my other computer, trying to talk to you at the same time here. So remember, we still have this, it's a severe warned thunderstorm, but it could produce that tornado. So remember, we're watching for the rotation or any rotation within this red highlighted area, okay? So that's going to be for East El Paso County and northeastern Pueblo County. So that's about 20 miles north of Pueblo, and it's continuing, as you can see, to move to our east. So make sure, once again, I keep saying this, but folks are probably just tuning in at this point. If you are in this red highlighted area, remember this is gonna be just south of Fountain, just south of Truckton there, but it's gonna get us about 20 miles north of Pueblo. So we've got that tornado warning, watching for rotation with this storm. Producing likely some lightning or some heavy rain. We are looking at some hail with this as well. And it is continuing until 2:30 for now. So we've got about 20 more minutes of this. Make sure if you have a basement that you are in that area. If you do not have a basement, get into the most interior room of your house. Make sure you are getting away from windows, anything like that. If we do spot that rotation, flying debris will be a big impact there. So we are watching that area. Couple other spots as these storms come together. Once again, we've got Pueblo West and starting to get a little closer to Pueblo, probably some hail in that with these storms kind of all merging together, continuing to push to our east. Any of these yellow highlighted areas, keep in mind, you might not be under that tornado warning, but you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm gonna go through those as well. We've got that for Pueblo County. We just talked about that one. So we've got some 60 or so mile per hour winds with these storms. That's likely any of the storms that we're seeing right now. A 60 mile per hour wind, that's enough to do tree damage. That's enough to do a little bit of property damage. So that's why we keep telling you to get to an interior room of your house. If anything starts to fly around, we don't want that to be, if we don't want you to be by a window or anything like that that might break. So our hail size, about 1/4 inch hail is gonna be possible with these. So we've still got this one also. I'm gonna travel a little further north. So this other yellow highlighted area, that's going to be another severe warned thunderstorm until about 3 o'clock. So that one's going to include areas near Ellicott, west of Hanover. These are all moving at about 35 miles per hour. So they're moving pretty quickly here, but they're still in this strong line. And we are continuing to keep our eye right here. This red highlighted area, that is the tornado warning that we've got here. Clicking a little bit on the wrong thing. Sometimes this tries to click on other things. I'm gonna click on this yellow or this red color here. So remember, El Paso County still has that severe thunderstorm warning, in addition to over here on the corner, if it will let me click here, there we go. That's that tornado warning, all right? So that'll be the area until 2:30 for now that we have our eye on for any rotation. I'll zoom out just a touch so you can get a better view of kind of where the entirety of this is. You're seeing your improvement around Fountain. That's where we kind of started all this jazz earlier. So we've got our eye right here. We're gonna zoom in, see if we can get on any local, a little more local level for you guys, but I'm not really seeing any streets popping up except for over here towards Boone Road. So this will be an area that is going to be seeing this storm here pretty soon. Boone Road, that's gonna be east of I-25 in this tornado, possibly tornado warned storm here. Remember, radar indicated we haven't had anything confirmed, but we do have all the ingredients here for some spin ups. So that's why we've got a close eye on it. I'm zoomed in on the southern part kind of this storm now, trying to see any of these other local areas that might be impacted, any street names that might pop up here. And it's looking like I said earlier, we're getting a little further away from people, so a little further away from those more populated areas, which is good news here. But this storm still has the threat of potentially popping a tornado. So we are keeping an eye there on that there. Any of these other storms, remember, they could possibly do some car damage, vehicle damage with the hail that we might be seeing, wind damage, things like that. We do have these storms producing 60 or so mile per hour winds. So that's something else we have in mind, or to have in mind, excuse me. All right, so I'm gonna walk back over. It's been a while since we've talked on camera here, so gonna walk everybody through once again what it is that we're seeing out there. It's just a little easier for me to move things around for you when I'm over off screen on the computer, so that's why I've kind of been doing the back and forth there. But as a whole, we have these storms that have kind of created a whole line of storms, really from about Ellicott. You can see actually probably a little further north than that, down past Pueblo. Pretty much the entire area is severe thunderstorm warned, so we're likely seeing some hail with these storms. We're likely seeing some heavy rain. We're definitely seeing some heavy rain. We've got that red color indicating some heavier rain, and then that purple color is usually a pretty good indication that we're seeing some hail with these storms as well. So any of these yellow boxes, the yellow boxes are the severe thunderstorm warnings, okay? So along I-25, we're looking a little bit better, but between Fountain and Pueblo, we've got some heavy rain in these spots. This red highlighted area, this is going to be the one that we could potentially see a spin-up tornado out of that we've got our eye on. This tornado warning is going to continue for another 15 or so minutes, and then we'll see if we need to, if the Weather Service will re-up that, extend that for us. So like I said, we've got a tornado warning right in this area. That's the area that we're watching. Looks like we've got a new tornado warning that just popped up here just outside of Ellicott. So I'm going to step back over and get a little more information on that one for you and you folks that are going to be in that area. So this is the one that we've been watching from the beginning here. All right, and now we've got a second one that's going to be for Yoder County and Rush County. So I'm going to move us up here. And that's going to be until about 2:45. So just outside of Ellicott is where this tornado warning is going to be for us. So get you some more details on this new one that we're seeing. So this is still a severe thunderstorm at this point. Remember, capable of producing a tornado. That's kind of where we're at for both of these at this point. I'll zoom out just a little. These yellow or the red highlighted areas, that's where we've got these tornado warnings. We could see a little rotation in some of these. So that is where we've got our attention at the moment. So this new one, the one to our north, that's going to be East Central El Paso County. And so that's going to be near Truckton. That's about 30 miles outside of Colorado Springs. So to the east, Colorado Springs, you're in the clear. So our big populated areas aren't really seeing these right now, but we do still have obviously some folks in these areas that we want to keep safe. So we are looking at the potential for a tornado. We've got quarter-sized hail is what the radar is with this. Obviously some heavy rain. You can see here what we're seeing in there. Maybe a little rotation on our radar here for this storm.
The National Weather Service in Pueblo has issued a tornado warning for East Central El Paso County in East Central Colorado until 2:45 p.m.
So this one is going
At 2:14 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Truckton, or 32 miles east of Colorado Springs, moving east at 25 miles an hour. Hazard, tornado and quarter-size hail. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include Yoder, Truckton, and Rush. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Torrential rainfall is occurring with this storm and may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways.
Just to see a better look at where we might be seeing some of this rotation. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to see here, so I'm on some of my other devices, getting a better look. All right, this is what so to keep you posted, remember these yellow or the red highlighted areas is where we do have our tornado warning. So it's looking like this area here. I'm gonna try to zoom in. That's what it was looking like. Just kind of verifying here. Maybe a little rotation in this area. All right, so right around Truckton, Yoder, I'm gonna zoom in. Yoder Road, Boone Road, we talked about Boone Road earlier. These are some areas that you'll want to definitely be getting into your safe space. Some strong wind, maybe some rotation with these storms. Looking a little further south at this other tornado warning. A little harder to tell here because of how close it is to our radar, but we do maybe we're watching for some rotation in these as well. All right, so those are our two areas, our two big areas we've got our eye on right now. I'm gonna check back in over on this other thing to see make sure we're not missing anything, nothing new here. Okay, and we're hearing of maybe a confirmation of a possible tornado, not confirmed. Maybe some sightings of a funnel cloud or something like that, just east of the Springs. So one of these likely, this is from the police. We've gotten words from police that maybe we're seeing a tornado. I'm working to get us some better confirmation here. But if you are included in any of these areas, you should have a long time ago been in your safe space, most interior room of your house, and into a basement. We're seeing some rotation possible with some storms and possibly hearing of the first maybe sighting of a tornado, okay? The rest of this has just been radar indicated, so possible tornadoes. It sounds like we maybe have seen someone spot one of these. I am working to get more information on exactly where that is. But remember, we do have a tornado warning. I'm gonna step back in. I know sometimes with me zooming out and in like that, it's a little bit hard to tell what we're talking about. So once again, this is getting a little close to our radar, which is why it's getting a little bit blurry here, but we're watching for some rotation right around here for that tornado warning, all right? Around Truckton, we're looking for some rotation in that area between Truckton and Yoder. So these are our areas that right now have the biggest threat of seeing those tornadoes. With just a couple minutes ago, one of my producers just let me know maybe some police officers have seen a rotation, maybe a funnel cloud. We do not have that confirmed, but that is the first we're hearing of possibly a tornado making its way into our areas. So these red highlighted areas, these are spots that you need to be in your safe space. I'm gonna move back over here and zoom in a little closer, maybe get you guys a better street view of what's happening, because we are getting word of possibly these tornadoes starting to form. So we've got Boone Road, this is the same spot as earlier, all right? So Boone Road, South Yoder Road, those are some spots that we want to look out for. Boone Road really all the way down. So from north to south, you've got some action. You're kind of included in really both of these tornado warnings. So we're going to continue to see these push to our east. Like I keep saying, if you are east of these storms and you're in this red shaded area, you need to make sure that you are getting into your safe space, away from windows, most interior room in your house. If you don't have a basement, then you need to get close to the most interior room in your house now, this past time for that, okay? We have a break that's gonna come up here in about 1 minute, and then we'll hop back on and I'll keep you posted as to what's happening. For now, if you are in these areas, tornado warning is in place. Remember, for East Central El Paso County and East Central Colorado. That's near Truckton. That's east of Colorado Springs, all right? And we have maybe heard of someone possibly seeing a funnel cloud in these areas. We've got about a couple minutes worth of a break here. If I need to get back in here sooner than that, I will, but we will be back here in just a couple of minutes with everything that you need to know.